My name is Donna D. Dolly, and I was 31 years old when my parents gave my seat away at Christmas dinner and expected me to thank them for it. I drove 6 hours to get there. 6. Through traffic that barely moved, past two jackknifed semis that forced everyone into a single lane, with a playlist that kept looping the same 20 songs because my Bluetooth kept cutting out. I stopped twice for gas station coffee that tasted like hot pennies, but I didn't complain. Because Christmas was Christmas. You show up. Even when it feels more like obligation than tradition. By the time I pulled into the driveway, it was already dark. The house looked the same. Warm lights in the windows, decorations perfectly placed, like nothing ever changed, like nothing ever needed to. I grabbed my bag, walked up to the door, and stepped inside. My mom was waiting. Not smiling, not excited. Just ready, like she had been rehearsing something. "So," she said, her tone light, almost casual. "Small change this year." I blinked, still halfway between the road and reality. "We gave your seat to Mrs. Langford," she continued. "She's alone this year." For a second, I thought I misheard. "What?" "She's sitting with us at the table," my dad added from behind her. "We figured you'd be fine having your plate in the kitchen." They said it like it was noble. Like I was part of something generous. Like I should be proud. But I knew exactly what it was. Mrs. Langford owned a flooring business 2 towns over. For months, my parents had been circling her, dropping hints, inviting her to things, trying to secure a family discount on new hardwood floors. And now, my seat had been traded for it. The worst part? She knew. She was already sitting at the table when I looked past my mom. Her smile was tight, guilty. Like even she understood what this was. I didn't argue, didn't raise my voice, didn't make a scene. I just said, "Okay," turned around, and walked back out the door. No one followed me. Not my mom, not my dad, not my sister. I got in the car and drove. Not anywhere specific, just away. I ended up outside Maya's place. My cousin. The only person in that family who never made me feel like I had to earn my place. I didn't call ahead, just showed up. When she opened the door and saw me standing there, she didn't ask questions. She just stepped aside. "Come in." We sat on her couch, watching Die Hard on low volume while eating frozen pizza straight from the box. She didn't push, didn't ask what happened. She just stayed. At 8:30, my phone buzzed. My sister. "Wow, can't handle being overlooked, huh?" I stared at the message for a long time. Not because it hurt, because it didn't surprise me. I opened my banking app, scrolled through the numbers, the accounts, the connections. Then I froze the mortgage assistance, the one I had quietly been contributing to for years. After that, I opened the streaming account, the shared one. 5 profiles, including my dad's, labeled Big Guy. I canceled it. Gone. Just like that. But the real moment, the one that changed everything, came at 9:04. A message from my dad's number, signed by both of them. We talked about it. "You've always been a failure. You ruin every holiday, every get-together. We don't need you anymore." I read it once, then again, slowly, carefully. Then I handed my phone to Maya. She didn't say anything, just read it, then handed me a drink. And that's when something shifted. Not anger, not sadness. Clarity. They didn't know what I built, what I owned, what they relied on, but they were about to find out. I didn't sleep that night. Not because I was hurt. That feeling faded faster than I expected. I stayed awake because my mind wouldn't stop moving, mapping, calculating, listing everything they used, everything I had given, everything they took for granted. By morning, I wasn't thinking about Christmas anymore. I was thinking about what I was about to take back. By sunrise, I wasn't thinking about what they said anymore. I was thinking about what they used, what they depended on, what they had quietly built their comfort on, without ever once asking how it worked or who made it possible. I sat at Maya's kitchen table with my laptop open and a mug of coffee she had already made for me without a word. She didn't ask what I was doing. She just knew. The first thing I logged into was my company's admin system. They thought I worked in IT, that I fixed printers, set up emails, maybe helped people reset passwords. That's what I let them believe. The truth? I built systems, infrastructure, back-end networks that entire businesses ran on. What they didn't know was that half the systems in their house were mine, installed under my business account, maintained through my servers, paid for by me. At 7:10 a.m., I suspended their cloud license, just like that. Their home cameras went offline. The smart lock stopped responding. The thermostat reset to manual. Everything that made their house feel modern, gone. Next, I opened the family phone plan. 5 lines? Mine. Theirs. My sister's. For years, I had been paying it without thinking, without mentioning it, without expecting anything back. I didn't cancel it. That would have been too simple. Instead, I transferred ownership. All of it. If they didn't accept the transfer in 72 hours, the lines would go dead. Then I moved on. The mortgage. This one took a little more effort. I called the lender directly. They remembered me. Of course they did. I had helped one of their reps recover from a server failure last year. I'd like to be removed as a cosigner, I said calmly. There was a pause. Typing. Then a shift in tone. Understood. That will trigger a review process. I know. And I did. They wouldn't qualify without me. Not anymore. After that, I went after everything else. Small things. Invisible things. The kind people don't notice until they're gone. Streaming services. Cancelled. Password manager. Deactivated. Amazon Prime access. Removed. Even the storage unit. The one I paid for. Filled with their holiday decorations and my dad's old tools. Cancelled. By the time I leaned back in my chair, hours had passed. Maya was sitting across from me, scrolling through something on her own laptop. She looked up. They're not used to the world without you, she said. That stuck, because it was true. They weren't angry yet. Not really. They were confused. That changed by afternoon. The first message came from my sister. Why aren't the security cameras working? I didn't reply. Then my mom. The mortgage company called. Are you messing with something? You need to fix this. Fix. Always that word. By evening, my dad finally chimed in. Just one line. This is childish. That one made me laugh. At 9:17 p.m., the streaming account group chat lit up. Messages flying back and forth. No one could log in. No one understood why. I watched it all. Didn't respond. Right before bed, I sent one message. You said you didn't need me. No punctuation. No explanation. Then I turned off my phone. But I wasn't done. Not even close. Because what they still didn't understand was how much of their lives ran through me. The next morning they came in harder. 8-4. M. Group text. Dad first. You're being dramatic. Grow up. Then my sister. You've always been the outsider anyway. Why are you acting surprised now? And my mom. You think we owe you for things we never asked for? You're not a martyr. Stop playing the victim. I read it once. Then again. Not because it hurt, but because it confirmed something. They still thought this was about feelings. It wasn't. I logged back into my system. 2 of my earliest clients popped up. My parents' accounting firm. My uncle's dental clinic. I had set both of them up years ago. Full infrastructure, security, backups, maintenance. I never billed them. Not once. Family. That's what they called it. I clicked into their accounts. Reclassified both. Terminated. I didn't destroy anything, didn't sabotage. I just removed my systems, my support, my access. Before closing the dashboard, I left one message in their admin panel. This system was maintained at no cost for over a decade. Effective today, your account has been closed. By noon, everything started breaking. Missed calls, emails, panic. My mom, my dad, my uncle, all trying to reach me. I didn't answer. Maya watched me from across the room. "They're not mad," she said quietly. "They're scared." She was right, because for the first time, they were experiencing life, without me holding it together behind the scenes, and it was only just starting to fall apart. By morning, everything felt heavier, not loud, not chaotic, just weighted. Like something had cracked behind the walls of their lives, and now they could hear it, but didn't want to look. I didn't check my phone right away. I made coffee, sat at Maya's table, watched the steam curl up slowly, like nothing had changed. Then I opened my email. The first one stopped me cold. Subject: "We are completely locked out. Please help." It was from the front desk manager at my uncle's clinic. She didn't try to dress it up, didn't pretend it was routine. "We can't access patient files," she wrote. "Billing is down. We've had to reschedule appointments. We thought everything was hosted independently. We didn't know it was all connected to you." I read it twice, not because I didn't understand, because I did. Perfectly. They had never asked how anything worked, never cared, as long as it did. I didn't reply. Instead, I forwarded the email to a colleague, one I trusted, one who charged real rates. "They'll need full system recovery, emergency priority, bill accordingly." 2 hours later, my phone lit up again. My mom, multiple messages. "Let's talk." We didn't mean it. We were stressed. It was Christmas. Everyone says things they don't mean. That line. Everyone says things. I stared at it, because I remembered every single time they had said something cruel and then expected it to disappear. Like words didn't matter if enough time passed. Like memory was the problem. Not what they said. Then the longer message came. The one that took effort. "It wasn't about not wanting you there," she wrote. "We were trying to include Mrs. Langford. She's important right now. She's helping us with the flooring. We thought you'd understand." I read it out loud. Maya didn't even react. "So, your seat was worth what?" she said flatly. $2 a square foot? I laughed, but it wasn't funny, because they weren't denying it. They were explaining it, like it made sense. At 4:19 p.m., another message came through, this time from my cousin Ellie. "I heard what happened," she wrote. "They're telling people you destroyed the family." Destroyed. I leaned back in my chair. "They told me to stay away from you," she added. "Said you're dangerous now." Dangerous, I called her. We talked for almost an hour, and the more she spoke, the more everything lined up. Different stories, different situations, same pattern. Control, guilt, conditional love. "They tried to get me to take over the clinic," she said. "Told me who to date, who to be. When I said no, suddenly I was ungrateful. I didn't say anything, because I knew exactly what she meant. They've been doing this to all of us," she continued, "just in different ways." By the end of the call, she said something I didn't expect. "I'm done with them too." Silence. "I'd rather rebuild everything from scratch," she said, "than owe them one more thing." I stared at the table, at the coffee cup, at nothing. "No one's ever said that out loud before," I admitted. "Yeah," she said, "because no one ever wanted to be the first." That stayed with me. That night, just before 10, another message came in. "My sister, are you still paying for my tuition next semester?" No apology, no acknowledgement, just Expectation. I stared at it for a long moment, then typed one word. No. Sent. I didn't imagine her reaction. Didn't need to. Because for the first time, it didn't matter. Maya looked over at me. You okay? I nodded. Because this wasn't anger. This was balance. I wasn't taking anything from them. I was just no longer giving. We sat outside later that night, wrapped in old blankets, the air cold and quiet. They're going to come here, Maya said finally. I nodded. I know. And this time, I wasn't waiting. I was ready. They didn't make me wait long. The next afternoon, just after 2, the doorbell rang. Maya didn't look surprised. She just stood up, walked to the door, and opened it halfway. No, she said before they even spoke. You can stand out here. I stayed where I was, at the kitchen table, calm. Still. I heard my mom's voice first. Soft. Careful. Like she was trying to find the right tone. Can we come in? No, Maya repeated. There was a pause, then the sound of my dad pushing past her anyway. Of course. He walked in like nothing had changed. Like he still belonged there. I didn't move. Didn't stand. Didn't greet them. You look tired, he said, like we were making small talk. I didn't answer. My mom stepped in next. Slower, eyes scanning the room, taking everything in, trying to figure out where she still had control. We need to talk, she said. There it was. Not, I'm sorry. Not, we were wrong. Need. I finally stood. Maya moved to my side without saying a word. This won't take long, I said. My mom started first, talking fast, words spilling over each other. Christmas was stressful. Things got taken out of context. We didn't mean what we said. Families fight. I let her talk, because I wanted to hear how far she'd go without actually saying the one thing that mattered. She never said it. No apology. Just explanation. Just justification. Then she said it. The phrase I had been waiting for. We need you. I almost smiled. Not because it was funny, because it was honest. I stepped forward. You didn't want me, I said quietly. My dad tried to interrupt. Now hold on. No, I cut him off. You said I ruined everything. You said you didn't need me. Silence. You used what I built, I continued. You relied on everything I gave you. And the moment I stopped, I became the problem. My sister spoke from the doorway, arms crossed. So you're cutting everyone off over one night? I laughed. For real this time. This isn't about one night, I said. It's about years. Years of being overlooked. Years of being used. Years of being the quiet one who fixed everything and asked for nothing. My mom's voice cracked. We didn't know, she said. That one stopped me. Not because it hurt. Because it was the truth. You didn't know, I repeated. Because you didn't care. Silence fell again. Heavier this time. My dad stepped forward, his tone shifting. Less confident. More uncertain. We just thought you liked helping, he said. I looked at him. Really looked. That's the difference, I said. You thought it was a favor. It was my life. He didn't have a response for that. None of them did. So I said the only thing left. Leave. My mom hesitated. Like she was waiting for something to change. For me to soften. To step back into the role I had always played. I didn't. My dad turned first. Walked out without another word. My mom followed. My sister lingered for a second longer. You'll regret this, she said quietly. Family is all you have. I shook my head. No, I said. Maya's family, Ellie's family. I met her eyes. You're just people I grew up around. That one landed. I saw it. Then she left. The door closed. And just like that, it was over. For real this time. I checked my phone out of habit. A new email. From the mortgage lender. You have been successfully removed as cosigner. I stared at it for a moment, then set the phone down, because that was it. No more ties. No more hidden connections. No more quiet obligations. Everything that had kept me linked to them was gone. At 8:17 p.m., my sister sent one last message. You were always jealous of how close we were. I didn't reply. Instead, I forwarded it to Ellie. She responded almost immediately. Insane, do they even hear themselves? Then another message. I'm coming over this weekend. We need to talk. I have an idea. I leaned back in my chair, looked around the room, at Maya, at the space that felt solid. The pieces were shifting. The circle was changing. And for the first time, I wasn't reacting. I was building something new, without them. Ellie showed up that Saturday just before noon. No hesitation. No small talk. She walked in like she already belonged there, holding 2 coffees in one hand and a thick folder tucked under her arm. Maya didn't even get up from the couch. Kitchen, she said. Ellie nodded and went straight there, dropping the folder onto the table in front of me. This is everything. I opened it slowly. Not because I was afraid of what I'd find, but because I already knew. Emails. Messages. Screenshots. Years of them. I flipped through page after page, and it felt like reading my own story, just with different names. Her dad pressuring her to take over the clinic, threatening to cut her out if she didn't follow his plans. My dad emailing her about family expectations. My uncle trying to control where she worked, who she dated. Same pattern. Different target. They've done this to all of us, Ellie said quietly. Just in different ways. I looked up, met her eyes. I was the obedient one, she added, until I wasn't. Silence filled the room. Not uncomfortable, just heavy with realization. Then she said something that shifted everything. I want out. Maya straightened slightly. What do you mean? Not just emotionally, Ellie said. Legally, financially, everything. I want to build something new, something that isn't tied to them. She looked at me. I want you in. I didn't answer right away. I just sat there, staring at the folder, at the years of quiet manipulation, at the truth laid out in black and white. Maya spoke first. We could actually do it, she said. You've got the tech. Ellie's got operations. I can handle marketing. I exhaled slowly. For the first time since Christmas, this didn't feel like defense. It felt like direction. That night, I drove back to my childhood home. Not to fix anything. Not to reconcile. To close it. The house looked smaller than I remembered. The lights were on, but it didn't feel warm anymore. Just lit. I sat in the car for a few minutes before getting out. Then I walked up and knocked. My dad opened the door. My mom stood behind him. They didn't look surprised. Just cautious. I walked inside, without waiting to be invited. Looked around. Same furniture, same layout, same place that used to feel like it meant something. Now it felt like a set. I came to say thank you, I said. They blinked, confused. For what? My mom asked. For reminding me who you really are. Silence. For pushing me far enough to finally see it. Her eyes filled with tears. She stepped forward. Donna! I stepped back. No, I said. You don't get to cry and keep the benefits. My dad opened his mouth to speak. I didn't let him. You made me feel like a placeholder my entire life, I continued. Something you kept around in case you needed it. I held his gaze. But you don't need me anymore. I turned toward the door. And I don't need you either. I walked out. No shouting. No argument. No scene. Just done. Maya was waiting in the car. Ellie texted as I got in. We're building this. And we're leaving them behind. I stared at the message, then nodded. Yeah, I said quietly. And we did. The months that followed weren't dramatic. No big announcements. No public fallout. Just work. We launched the company. Independent. Clean. Built from the ground up without any ties to the past. Every day felt different. Lighter. Clearer. There was no tension. No expectation. No one pulling strings behind the scenes. Just effort. And growth. My parents sold the house less than a year later. The mortgage caught up to them. My sister dropped out of college. They tried reaching out again. A few messages, a couple of calls. I didn't answer, because by then, I was somewhere else. Somewhere real. They weren't villains, not in the dramatic sense. They were something worse. Selfish. Small. People who believed love was leverage. And once you stop playing that game, they have nothing left to offer. A few months after we launched, something unexpected showed up. A letter, handwritten, from Mrs. Langford. I stared at the name for a long time before opening it. She apologized. For Christmas. For sitting in that seat. For knowing it was wrong and not saying anything. Then she wrote something that surprised me. I wasn't alone that night, she said. You were. She included referrals, clients, contacts. And at the bottom of the letter, one line. Next year, no furniture trades. I smiled. For the first time in a while, it felt light. I tucked the letter into my desk drawer, next to a photo of me, Maya, and Ellie on launch day. All three of us smiling like we had already won. Because in a way, we had. Not by destroying anything, not by getting revenge, but by walking away and never looking back.